That's great.
Okay, Andre, can you tell us, give us a brief description of what the movie's about and like some of the key points in it?
Yeah, absolutely. The movie is about a struggle with faith, mainly, and how it plays into the extremes of terrorism, and which is so relevant today, and also just sort of breaking the cycle of personal feelings about justice and personal feelings with affliction, addiction, violence, a lot of things that are still relevant today. So it's an action film, so there's obviously a lot of violence, but I think it plays well into a very, very true and believable storyline. I played the sidekick in it, so I basically go on and be goofy for a couple of scenes and get off, and then sort of die in the process of that.
Okay, and do you have any other upcoming projects after this movie?
I do. I'm playing a zombie killer named Little Rambo, which is sort of ironic, in a movie called My Apocalyptic Thanksgiving. I also shot a pilot. Stay tuned for that. I can't really talk about that one.
Okay, and lastly, do you think it is important for African Americans to tell their own story through film?
Absolutely, and I think it's something that's been looked over so many times. Being an actor of mixed ethnicity myself, being half Native American, half Caucasian, I've never really found a place where I fit into the filmscape. Films like this and then festivals like this give me hope that we're going to start seeing more diversity in film and more stories that talk about our roots coming up in the future.
Thank you. So, what can you tell us about the film Atone?
It's a great film with an unusual hero. It's got a badass woman doing work to save her family.
Do you think it is important for African Americans to tell their own story through film?
Absolutely. If we don't tell the stories, sometimes they won't get out. Right now, when you see films, they come from a narrative that is often full of the negative side of what happens in the African American community. A film like this tells a story with a woman as a hero, an African American woman, and it's important for young people to see that they can be leaders and heroes.
Okay, and lastly, do you think that distribution services like Netflix and Hulu are making it easier to promote and distribute African American works?
Sure, they're reaching out to a lot of people, and so you see a lot more work on the screens, on your phones, on your iPads. So more distributors means more opportunity. Netflix is great.
Thank you. I'm here with
Genesis Martin.
And what role do you play in the movie Atone?
I play Kate. I'm the daughter of the lead.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about the movie and what you mainly do in the movie?
So it's basically a movie about an ex-spy who comes to work at her father's church, and there are these hijackers who try to hijack the church, and then they kidnap me, and I play the daughter who gets kidnapped. And basically what I'm doing is I'm running around a lot, I'm doing lots of stunts, I'm very scared. My character is very scared in the movie. So it's very action-packed, it's very fun, it's very energetic.
Okay, and do you think that is important for African Americans to tell their own story through film?
It's very important because we don't really have that much today. We don't have much African American films today, and I feel like it's very important to tell a story, to bring it back. Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, do you have any upcoming projects or TV shows, movies, anything?
Not at the moment. I'm honing my craft right now. I'm working on acting. I'm going into theater, and so I will just be auditioning for certain roles. I don't have any upcoming projects, but I'll just be working on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Jackson, what is your character in the movie, and what is the main events that you do in the movie?
I play a character named Xander Worth, who's the head of security for the Reverend Mark Shaw, who is a corrupt and sadistic man, and I'm tasked with protecting him from an onslaught of villainous bad guys as they try to take hold of his church. And I'm essentially just the head of security, and I fight bad guys.
Do you think distribution services like Netflix and Hulu are making it easier for like African Americans and other ethnicities to spread their work around?
Yeah, it's great, and I love it. think it's awesome. The amount of content that has the pathway to being seen by audiences and exposing new stories and new talented people and inspiring people around the world and from every walk of life. I think that's an amazing thing, and I think it should definitely be supported, and I love it.
Okay, and lastly, do you have any upcoming films, TV shows, any works in progress?
I got a couple things coming. You have to wait around. Check it out. All right.
Okay, thank you. Do you think that distribution services like Netflix and Hulu are making it easier to promote and distribute work for all ethnicities?
I think so. Yeah, I think Netflix and Hulu, they are doing. I guess they're helping more of the independent filmmaker, being able to have, I guess, a larger platform, to kind of reach more people and get more exposure and get their, product out there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, and do you think that Hollywood is finally realizing that African American films and narratives are profitable?
Absolutely. I mean, Black Panther, that alone, absolutely, for sure. And it's good that these, films like this are starting to come out and people are starting to, react to them a lot better and, just, yeah, for sure, profitable, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, Jacqueline, could you tell us a little bit about your character and what you mainly do in the movie?
Yeah, Laura Bishop. She's she works for she's special ops, and her daughter gets kidnapped. She was on the red carpet, but her daughter gets kidnapped, and she goes after her daughter, and she's not playing around. She takes out some pretty big guys. So, and it's also a film about forgiveness. Like, she had some things that went on in her personal life, and her will to live, getting her will to live again.
Okay, and do you think that Hollywood is realizing that African American films and narratives can be profitable?
Absolutely. We're killing it at the box office right now. So I think if you are African American, it's a great time right now to be at the box office. We are winning and we are selling out. Yes, and I think Hollywood is finally taking notice to that. Absolutely.
Okay, and lastly, why do you think it is important for African Americans to tell their own story through film?
Because it's a big media, it's an outlet that affects a lot of people. So a lot of people go to the movies, and we are the main people that go, and we get to share our stories, and people can hear it. Like I can say a story, and then you come and you see it right away, and it affects you.
Thank you.